I had a comment on the video I put up about my cat being ill that said, don't be violent toward anyone. Stop bullying yourself. Being bullied is wrong, or something like that. Um, and this is true. Oh, hi, Pansy. However, well, okay, I could just say, well, this is my channel. I can do what I want. Um, also true. I've considered putting disclaimers up. Because I will talk about things that upset people and bother people. It's the nature of the channel and what I'm going through and what I talk about. A degree of self-loathing and low self-esteem is like a hallmark of somebody having avoidant personality disorder. And you can work on it and work on it, work on it. But when you are pushed and when you are stressed, as much work as you do and as much as you try to come up with alternative ways to cope and alternative ways to think, under stress, you will default back to the personality disorder. That's why cognitive behavioral therapy doesn't work, because you can totally get that, here's X, Y, and Z that are totally facts about you, but you can't accept them. And as soon as you stop actively thinking, forcing yourself to think a certain way about yourself that is opposite of what probably wrongly you already think, you'll bounce back and you'll just, have it rubbed in your face again. And and also, I talked about, like, oh, to call it my choice is like the weirdest thing, but it really truly is. To basically not have people in my life and not have, or should I say, not have any new people in my life. Which sounds weird and sad and everything else, and how's that possible? And it's pretty active, that I'm not going to have people in my life because, somebody asked me, well, you can't make somebody have a avoidant personality disorder or any other type of disorder. You can't do that to somebody. However, you can make somebody feel pretty damn bad for you, which is, I think, what happened maybe with this poster. Maybe they were relating personally to themselves, or maybe they were like, oh, I don't like hearing somebody say that about somebody that I'm watching. I don't know. It doesn't matter how hard I try or, how much I keep people at arm's length. It comes out. It always comes out. And it does hurt people to hear me say whatever I say about myself. And I'm sorry. If you're going to interact with me at all, including watching my videos, I'm sorry. It's going to come out. It comes out. When I'm under stress, I go right back. It doesn't matter what I do to sort of mitigate it or come up with alternative whatever. I mean, if somebody was like, oh, you're really interesting, which is really hard for me to understand, but I mean, I'm doing this reading challenge. Maybe there's somebody that's like, oh, I love anybody that does a reading challenge. I just want to talk to everybody and see what they're doing and what they're reading and how they're, how how many books have you read and all this other stuff. Although I hate that, because it feels like that would feel like competition. It's not the point at all. I mean, do you have any recommendations from your reading challenge that I could do in mine? Something like that. I mean, it's possible. Yes. It's possible that somebody would not know anything but some superficial thing that I do and decide that, oh, you're really interesting. I want to like get to know you. And then at some point, because I can't keep a lid on it forever, at some point, how I really think of myself is going to come out. And it really, really bothers some people, especially if they haven't at all ever dealt with somebody who thought that way or felt that way. And, you know, avoidant personality disorder is not like uniquely rare, but it's not common. It's not in the lexicon. People don't understand. And when they come into contact with it, it just blows their mind. So, yes, it's going to come out. Yes, if I'm being honest, and I try to be honest on this channel, then you're going to hear me say all the terrible things. And I know in that video I was talking about how I've effectively been ghosted by a friend, and it's happened in the past, and it usually means something really bad has happened. But I would a million times prefer it just to be that avoidant voice saying, oh, well, you're no good, and you know, and that's the reason for the ghosting. Wouldn't anybody rather have their friend not go through hell? You know, I mean, it's in the real world, it's common for people to pick up friends and lose friends and not even notice. So, I mean, there is a chance that that's what happened. And I would prefer it to what history has shown to be what is probably the reason, which is a bad thing. I don't want a bad thing to happen to my friends. I would rather my friends just decide I'm no good for them. Really? Wouldn't you? Really? If there's somebody that you like, you wouldn't want to hurt them. And exactly this is why I have shut off the possibility that I can interact with people on anything other than a superficial manner in any capacity, because, you know, and even this, it's like I read that stuff and it shuts me down, and I'm not even like I should shut down the channel, and then I'm like, wait a minute, no, I shouldn't. There are people who actually get things out of this, people who actually have avoidant personality disorder and are like, oh, I'm not the only one. Those people, that's who this channel is for. It's not for people who are curious or whatever. That's why I'm nervous about putting the rest of these things. I mean, I think they're really good coping techniques for being alone all the time. Is reading books, is traveling, is, you know, the cats, is, you know, having pets, and you know, having a job where I don't have to sort of keep ongoing relationships. I mean, it's really weird to me. My coworkers every once in a while will hear me sort of reject the concept of them being friends. Like, I'm shocked that they would think any. Actually, it's usually I'm just like, oh, well, you probably just wanted to get rid of me. And they're like, what? No. You know, why would I think that? Or, oh, you probably just hate me. Oh, why would you think that? And I'm like, oh, I'm just kidding. They get offended that I would think that they don't think of me. Because if they do think of me, then I really can't work with them. It's a problem. Anyway. Yes, this is real. This is how people actually think, even if they don't have the, I want to say the guts to say it out loud, but seriously, a lot of people just keep it in until they explode, or they do something self destructive, or they get a therapist who's horrified by them, and then they have to fake with their therapist that things are getting better so the therapist will get off their case. But yeah, this is what goes through people's heads when they have avoidant personality disorder. This is what they're trained to be. This is how you've been brought up, either by a family member or, some sort of close relationship, or even just bullying in school. That this is who you are. You are less than. You are unworthy. And this is just, it's stamped in your head. And all the normal things that human beings do don't apply. Being human means being social, but you're not, eligible, good enough to be social. That is what avoidant personality disorder is. It's bullshit, supposedly. But again, in my experience, this is an example. This one comment, this is an example of exactly why it's better for everybody. It's sad for me that I have to be alone. Yes. Although I'm doing lots of things to fill up my time, but I will be going out of my skin, and there's nobody I can call. And there's nobody I can talk to, and that is just a fact. And I wouldn't want to burden somebody with whatever I need to talk to them about. Let's be real. That's avoidant personality disorder. That's what it is. It's not I'm avoiding somebody. If you're just avoiding people that you normally like to hang out with, that's depression. Get that treated. Go to a doctor. And I'm sorry if it seems like I've been doing really well and then it suddenly pops up again. It's going to pop up. I think I put the title of that is I'm sad. Clue you in big time. That means that I'm going to tell you something that is not nice or fun. That means that I'm going to revert to where I think I deserve to be, which is the extreme low self-esteem that's part of avoidant personality disorder. So I don't see it as bullying myself or being violent to myself or anything like that. I see it as speaking the truth. And I don't like to inflict people with that because, you know what? I was told by somebody who had borderline personality disorder and anyway, that they really didn't like being forced to look in the mirror and seeing the truth about themselves. Because I was like, dude, you can get this type of therapy. It's a little bit difficult. Your life will be better. And then you don't have to pretend at having something you don't have, and life will be better, and life will be better. Life will be better. Just accept the truth and deal and cope and be an adult about it. Life will be better. I don't want you to ever put a mirror up to my face. Can't face it. I think there are some people out there who, hearing me say something resonates too much for them. They can relate a little too much. And I'm really sorry if that's the case. You know that it's complete bull. But it's like my reality, and it's probably your reality, unfortunately. And that is going to be coming out on the channel. And it's not bullying, it's just telling the truth. So I'm sorry if it's painful to hear. Just don't watch the videos. I mean, don't really. And I'm not being flippant or dismissive. I mean, seriously, take care of yourself. And if you don't like to hear that stuff, and if you're not in a place where you can hear that stuff, then don't watch, because it will bum you out. I mean, it might make you feel like, oh, I'm not the only one. It sucks, but I'm not the only one. Oh, that's kind of the point. But if all it's going to do is bum you out, then don't.